As we grow older, it's natural to look back on our lives and the qualities we've nurtured. One of the most prized traits many of us hold dear is kindness. Whether it was helping family, supporting friends, or contributing to our communities, kindness has often been at the heart of how we relate to others. It's a value that seems timeless, always relevant, always virtuous. But what if I told you that kindness, in certain circumstances, could become a burden? What if, without balance, it could lead to a sense of depletion, loss, and even regret in your later years? When time and energy become more precious than ever, the kindness you offer others should be fulfilling, not draining. The truth is, unchecked kindness can leave us feeling empty, overextended, and even unappreciated. Below are 9 ways that kindness, if not carefully managed, can impact your life negatively, and how you can find balance to ensure that kindness enriches your life rather than diminishes it. 1. Kindness can lead to exploitation. One of the risks of being a kind person is that others may start to take advantage of you. As someone who has likely spent decades offering help when it was needed, whether to family, friends, or even neighbors, you may have noticed that the more you give, the more people ask. What starts as a favor here and there can quickly become an expectation that you'll always be available, always willing to step in when others need help. For instance, a friend may continually ask for rides to appointments, knowing you have the time, or an adult child might depend on you for financial support, not because they truly need it, but because they've grown used to your generosity. While it feels good to help at first, over time, this constant giving can leave you feeling overextended, unappreciated, and even a bit resentful. Many older adults, especially those with family responsibilities, have a hard time saying no, fearing that it will damage relationships or make them seem selfish. But in reality, constantly saying yes when it's inconvenient or draining only deepens the cycle of exploitation. How to avoid it? It's important to recognize the signs when others are taking advantage of your kindness. Ask yourself, is this request truly necessary, or is this person capable of managing on their own? By setting clear boundaries, you not only protect your own time and energy, but you also encourage others to develop their independence. Saying no when needed doesn't make you unkind, it makes you wise, and it ensures that your kindness remains a positive force in your life. 2. Kindness can make you a pushover. Being kind often leads to a desire to keep the peace, especially within families. You may find yourself going along with decisions or plans that don't sit well with you, simply because you want to avoid conflict or discomfort. For years, perhaps even decades, you might have been the person who always gave in, who let others have their way for the sake of harmony. However, when you constantly put others' needs before your own, people begin to expect that from you. They might stop considering your feelings, assuming you'll always agree or comply with their desires. This can lead to a dangerous dynamic where your opinions, needs, and even happiness become secondary, forgotten amidst everyone else's. Think about family gatherings, for example. You might always agree to host or adjust your schedule to accommodate others, but when you express your preferences, perhaps wanting a quieter holiday or a different arrangement, those around you may be shocked. They're so used to you going along with things that when you finally assert yourself, it feels disruptive. How to avoid it? Practice standing up for yourself in small ways, and do it with kindness. Assertiveness doesn't mean being rude or aggressive. It means clearly stating your needs and making sure they are taken into consideration. Over time, you'll teach others that your voice matters, that your needs are important too. This shift may feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're worried about how others will react, but ultimately it will lead to more balanced and respectful relationships. 3. Kindness can hold you back from personal fulfillment. For many older adults, the later stages of life offer an opportunity for personal exploration. After years of raising families, working hard, and helping others, retirement or semi-retirement should be a time to focus on yourself. But what happens when old habits of putting others first continue to get in the way? Many people reach their senior years only to realize that they've never truly pursued their own passions. Maybe you always wanted to paint, travel, or start a new hobby, but life and the kindness you showed to others took up all of your time. You may have found it easier to say yes to others' requests than to carve out time for your own interests. Now, as you look at the years ahead, you might wonder, is it too late to focus on my dreams? The answer is a resounding no. The truth is, it's never too late to reclaim your time and start living for yourself. But without making a conscious decision to do so, you might find yourself falling into the same patterns of helping others, even when it's at the expense of your own fulfillment. How to avoid it? Reflect on the things you've always wanted to do but haven't yet prioritized. Whether it's learning a new skill, exploring new places, or simply spending more time on activities that bring you joy, now is the time to focus on those desires. Be deliberate in setting aside time for yourself, and remember that pursuing your own interests doesn't make you selfish. In fact, by living a more fulfilled and passionate life, you're modeling for others the importance of balancing kindness with self-care. 4. Kindness can suppress your authenticity. For many of us, the desire to be kind often comes with a tendency to avoid conflict. We may hold back our true feelings or opinions in order to keep the peace or avoid hurting someone's feelings. Over time, however, constantly biting your tongue or going along with things for the sake of kindness can suppress your true self. As we age, it becomes increasingly important to live authentically, to be true to who we are, no matter how others may perceive us. But years of putting on a kind face can make it difficult to remember what we truly think and feel. We may find ourselves in situations where our real thoughts and emotions are buried under layers of politeness, leaving us feeling disconnected from ourselves. Imagine a lifetime of holding back your opinions in family discussions, or always agreeing with friends to avoid conflict. While these small acts of kindness might seem harmless, they can gradually erode your sense of identity. How to avoid it? Begin by practicing small acts of authenticity. Express your opinions, even if they differ from those around you. Share your true feelings in situations where you might have previously remained silent. You'll find that when you allow yourself to be fully seen and heard, your relationships will grow deeper and more meaningful. Authenticity is not the opposite of kindness. In fact, it is the foundation of genuine connections. 5. Kindness can lead to physical and emotional exhaustion. As we grow older, many of us are still caring for others, whether it's helping adult children, looking after grandchildren, or taking on the role of a caregiver for a spouse or friend. These acts of kindness can take a significant toll on our health. While caring for others brings deep fulfillment, it can also become physically and emotionally draining, particularly when we fail to balance it with caring for ourselves. Many older adults struggle with feelings of obligation. They may believe that it's their duty to continue helping others, even at the cost of their own health. But constantly putting others first without taking time to recharge can lead to burnout. Physical exhaustion, coupled with emotional fatigue, can affect your health in serious ways, leading to stress, weakened immune function, and even depression. How to avoid it? Make self-care a priority. Recognize that you can't pour from an empty cup. If you're not taking care of yourself, you won't be able to take care of others effectively. This might mean taking breaks, enlisting help, or simply saying no when you need to. It's not selfish to prioritize your health. It's essential. By ensuring that you're well rested and emotionally balanced, you'll be in a much better position to offer genuine, sustainable kindness to others. 6. Kindness can lead to isolation if not balanced with reciprocity. As we age, we may find our social circles shrinking. Friends move away, family members become busier, or we experience the loss of loved ones. In an attempt to maintain relationships, we may double down on acts of kindness, offering help, initiating conversations, or going out of our way to be available for others. But what happens when those efforts aren't reciprocated? If your relationships become one-sided, where you're always the one reaching out, always offering help, but receiving little in return, it can lead to feelings of isolation and loneliness. While kindness is important, relationships need reciprocity to thrive. If you're constantly giving and never receiving, it's easy to feel unappreciated and disconnected. How to avoid it? Take stock of your relationships and evaluate whether they are balanced. Are you surrounded by people who value and support you, or do you find yourself giving more than you receive? Seek out connections that are mutually beneficial, where kindness flows in both directions. Don't be afraid to set boundaries with those who take without giving, and invest more energy into relationships that uplift and support you. 7. Kindness can enable dependency in others. One of the most significant ways kindness can backfire is when it leads to dependency. You may have spent years, even decades, helping your children, spouse, or friends whenever they needed something, but over time, this kind of help can prevent people from learning to take care of themselves. For example, many older adults find themselves continuing to support adult children financially or emotionally, even though those children are capable of managing on their own. While the initial intention is to help, constant rescue missions can foster dependency, where others rely on you instead of developing the resilience and skills they need to thrive. How to avoid it? Learn to differentiate between helping and enabling. Helping someone in a time of need is an act of kindness, but constantly stepping in to solve problems for others can rob them of the opportunity to grow. It's okay to step back and let people figure things out for themselves. This doesn't make you unkind, it makes you a supporter of their growth and independence. 8. Kindness can diminish your own sense of accomplishment. Over a lifetime, we often define our success by how much we've helped others. But while it's admirable to have been there for your family and community, it's also important to acknowledge your own personal accomplishments. Sometimes being overly kind to others can overshadow your own achievements, leaving you with a sense of unfulfillment. As you reflect on your life, perhaps you've spent so much time helping others achieve their goals that you never fully pursued your own. Or maybe the satisfaction you once derived from supporting others has faded, leaving you wondering, what have I done for myself? How to avoid it? Take the time to reflect on and celebrate your own personal accomplishment. Whether it was in your career, a hobby, or simply reaching personal milestones, these achievements deserve recognition. It's never too late to focus on your own growth and fulfillment. By doing so, you honor the person you are beyond your kindness. 9. Kindness can lead to loss of personal identity. Throughout life, many of us have worn different hats: parent, spouse, friend, community leader, and much of our identity has been tied to how we helped others in these roles. But as we age, and some of these roles change or diminish, it can leave us questioning who we are outside of being the kind one. When you've spent a lifetime being the person who always gives, it can be disorienting to step back and consider who you are without that constant giving. This loss of identity can lead to feelings of emptiness or confusion about your purpose in this new phase of life. How to avoid it? This is the time to rediscover your own identity. Separate from the roles you've played in others' lives. What are your passions? What interests or activities bring you joy, independent of helping others? Engage in new experiences, pursue hobbies, or reconnect with parts of yourself that may have been on the back burner. By doing this, you cultivate a sense of self that's grounded in who you truly are, not just the kindness you offer to others. Conclusion: kindness begins with you. Kindness has been and continues to be one of the most valuable qualities we can offer the world. But as we age, it's essential to balance that kindness with self-care and a clear sense of personal boundaries. Without balance, kindness can become a source of exploitation, burnout, and even a loss of personal identity. Thank you for watching the entire video. If you find these stories inspiring and motivating, please comment 1. If not, comment 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time.